I think the one thing that the Republicans can be grateful to DeSantis for, besides like all the horrible legislation and laws in Florida, is that he brought Trump out of semi-retirement. And when it comes to nicknames, right? Like he's finally upped his nickname game. He was calling him Ron DeSanctimonious. Now he's calling him, I think, Tiny D, which it hurts me, but that's so good. That is so, so good. And he's going to demolish Ron DeSantis because, yes, I think that the Hill column that you pointed out kind of gets to it, which is that Trump's grievances are personal, and that's actually what seems to resonate with his supporters. We should probably emphasize that that's not even close to a majority of the country.
Right.
I mean, Molly was talking about the Republicans nominating someone who's electable. Electable throughout the entire country is an important thing to think about. That is not actually what Republicans are thinking about. I think it's important to note Ron DeSantis is troubling and not yet quite Trump-like on this very specific level, which is also in my column, which is that he's made a big deal about having run so close in his first race for governor, and then he beat Chris by like 20 points this time. Take a look at some of the Florida voter laws and some of the voter registration regulations that they have now in Florida. They've cracked down a lot, and it worries me when I see something like that and I see people not pushing back on it. DeSantis just sort of being able to say, look how big I won. Because I think the Republican Party is coming to a point where they're not worried about being electable because they're not worried about winning elections. They're gaming the system to such an extent, and I don't really mean in a January 6th overturn the results kind of way. I mean in this sneaky state-by-state way where the will of the people is going to be harder and harder to express. And instead, you have these people that are resonating with Trump who are angry people. And they will eventually have the angriest person possible, even angrier than he was before, at their head. And I think in some ways, like DeSantis, it's hard to say who would be preferable, isn't it?
And luckily, you're not the one who has to choose, right? Because part of what we're watching, Molly, is in this effort to out-Trump Trump, you have DeSantis and Anna Marie reference this, these policies that are coming out of Florida, including the potential of a 6-week abortion ban less than a year after they passed a 15-week abortion ban. I mean, these are extreme. This is not where the majority of Americans are. And it struck me that I was talking to voters during the midterm. That was the thing that kept coming up, right? It's too far out there. And I take Anna Marie's point that perhaps they are looking at the systems of governance as a way of preventing people from taking part in the process. But even then, if you're trying to win a primary with positions like this, you win and you get to the general. Americans are not going to want to see someone who has pushed something like a 6-week abortion ban.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is you have to be so Trumpy to win a primary in this Republican Party that it makes you almost, I mean, hopefully that continues. It has in the last 3 elections. It makes you almost unelectable in a general. And we saw this with Kari Lake. By the way, Kari Lake, who now believes she's governor. So we have seen this in purple states that this kind of thing just doesn't fly. I think that it'll be interesting to see. I would say the big difference I see between DeSantis and Trump is that Trump is charismatic and DeSantis is like a mini Jeb. And I just don't think in this country that we elect, especially in this Republican base that is so Trumpy, won't they go for the charismatic candidate? I mean, isn't that how American politics usually works?